We are now going to solve number value problems. And so these are problems where we have so many things of this type and so many things of this type, and there's this many total. And so there's some relationship between the individual pieces and the whole. And so the one that we're going to look at is one dealing with marbles. So suppose Sally has a bag of 40 total marbles. There's 40 marbles in this bag. She's excited about this. But her marbles are made up of red, white, and blue. So I'm underlining some key pieces as we go. So these are the three types that we have. But we're not told how many of them we have. However, Sally remembers that there were 12 more red marbles than white marbles, and that there are 5 less blue marbles than white marbles. So if we use red for our R for our red ones, W for our white ones, and B for our blue ones, we can talk about this a little bit, and we can choose a single variable to use to solve the problem, because it should be obvious right from the get-go that the number of red we have plus the number of white we have plus the number of blue marbles that we have has to equal 40. That altogether has to add up to 40. Well, going back to this big red underline, we know that there's 12 more red marbles than white marbles. So however many white marbles we have, there's 12 more red ones. So if I have 10 white ones, that means I have 22 red ones. Similarly, we know that our white's going to be white. We're just going to leave that one alone. But for our blue, that's 5 less blue than white. So if there's 12 white, there's 7 blue. If there's 10 white, there's 5 blue. Mathematically, we'll write that as W minus 5. So I want you to look at this key here for just a second. Notice it tells me how many reds I have if I know the number of whites. How many whites I have if I know the number of whites. Should be straightforward. And also how many blues I have if I know my number of whites. So I can take these pieces and replace my default equation, my total equation, with the pieces. So we end up with W plus 12, that's my red, plus just how many W's I have, plus W minus 5. And that's got to add up to 40. Now this should look familiar. This is an equation with one variable. And the only reason these parentheses are here is to show where the R went. It became W plus 12. The B became W minus 5. We don't need them, so we can drop them. And we can add these together. W plus W plus W, 3W, 12 minus 5. That's plus 7 equals 40. Now we can solve this. Subtract 7 from both sides. Get 3W equals 33. Divide by 3 and get W equals 11. Oh, look at that. We have 11 white marbles in our bag. Well, that means that we need to have 12 more than that for our red, so 11 plus 12. And that's going to give us, we have 23 red ones. Well, we do the same thing for our blue. 11 minus 5 is 6. So we have 11 white, 6 blue, and 23 red according to our key. Does that work for the problem as a whole? Well, 23 plus 11 plus 6. 3 plus 1 plus 6 is 0. Carry the 1. 1 plus 2 plus 1 is 4. Look at that. We ended up with 40 total marbles, where 23 are red, 11 are white, 6 are blue. There are 12 more reds than whites, and there are 5 less blues than whites. And we finished our problem.